Right. This was a missed trade that I'm looking at from last week. Unfortunately, last week was a bit quiet for me, the way that I look at the market. We didn't get any price action coming back into structure. The only thing I tried to get into was GU and EU, which I've um, journaled and reviewed, and I put into my folder. So this was a reduced risk hit here, but there was a trade. Unfortunately for me, would have to go down as missed trade from last week, and I'm just gonna do a quick top down on this. So we can see here USD CHF high time frame we are bearish, okay, from this distro over here. So I'm just gonna quickly put that. High time frame we're bearish, and here after this break here, we are bullish intraday. Let's do this. Holding intraday here. So this is our intraday leg. Let's put that in. From that to that, that's our intraday leg. Okay. And then we can see this was our reaccumulation. So this was our intraday slingshot. This was our intraday slingshot that price tapped into, and then from there we could see accumulation gone into a bunch of distro accumulation here, reaccumulation and distro accumulation. Okay, so the lower time frame leg is from this. Whoops, is it not working now? To that. Yeah, it's not working. To this. Let's see if I can do that and that. To that. And that low. And then from there, we made this new high here. And then this was that previous low. Okay. Let me just do this. Okay. So back in back at the start of this year, so January 2022, this is an entry that we've managed to get into, and then this is now what's holding lower time frame after making that high. Oh, God, hold on. Holding lower time frame after going ahead and making this high here. Bullish lower time frame break. Okay, this is the intraday leg. We still need that to break, and then this is what we'll be holding intraday once we break that new high there. So looking at this, we can drop back down now, and then we can look at, you know, what's happening within here. So here we can see there was an accumulation inside here. Okay, so now we're done with the market structure. We're going to look at the market cycle now. So this was the accumulation that happened, and this break here was simply just a boof. This break here was simply just a boof. We needed this to break for us to say this was lower time frame, which it did, but we'll look at that in a minute. And then from there, we can see the start of a distro gone into a reaccumulation. Okay, and then we can see there's the break from the creek. Okay, with that reaccumulation. Now this is not, there's no extremes, there's no SCs for me yet. Now there are. So because we broke this is the reaccumulation. So this was the cause that made this new high. So this is now my SC. Looking into here. Bullish SC of lower time frame. Okay, and then this here is my extreme of lower time frame. Okay. So this is my leg now. Picture. Okay. And then, you know, following our market cycle after the accumulation, reaccumulation, we can we can assume a distro will take place. Okay. Whether this distro reaccumulates itself and then go, then we'll obviously treat that as a reaccumulation. But we know obviously the distro would have three main targets with it in a bullish market. So it can be the cause of a reversal, right? We can look at this to be the cause of reversal for it to go down and actually break structure and order flow, of course. Or we can, we can look at the cause of price coming back into a demand zone. Well, we know this is our demand zone 1, and then this is our demand zone 2. So we can look for this distro to play into this area or to play into this area here. And you can also take out sellers and reaccumulate, which is what we're looking to do. All of the sellers coming into here, right, trying to play this distro, they can win, but then ultimately we're looking for us to get a nice spike, giving us another reaccumulation. All right. Okay, so let's see what happens with this. So we get somewhat of a micro distro in there, and then we can see price coming down. Now, when we saw this is when I was looking at this weekly candle here. It was a nice weekly candle. Because for me, the retracement has started now. And then, looking at somewhere in here. What the hell? Yeah, somewhere in there, we can anticipate some sort of accumulation to take place. Let me drop back down. Okay, there you go. So there wasn't anything that I was trying to get into this, although there was a nice hedge from this high here. Okay, there was a nice hedge. Can't remember which one it was now. Let me see. It was the 739. Somewhere in there. 739. Yeah, that candle here. That was a nice hedge. And then let's just come back into it. There's the reaccumulation, and then there's the break, and then we can see it tapped into about 50% of that 739 candle there. If we got into this buy from this lower time frame extreme here, this would be a nice hedge, because it did give over 10 to 1 when we looked at it maybe 2 weeks ago. But following this, we can see the distro playing out, making a bunch of lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so now price actually tapped into this area here. We can see it tapped into that 50% of that whole weekly candle. Unfortunately, we could not have put in an entry because it will be about 65 pip stop loss. So I didn't, definitely didn't take that. But looking at it, we have tapped into the accumulation area within the reaccumulation. Now all I need is some sort of BOOF, which there we go. We went ahead and we got. So let me actually reduce this now to about here, and then let's drop back down. So looking at the order flow of price coming in, okay. Right, so this was the low, this was the new low. So this is what we needed for price to break, and then we eventually did do that. Looking at this now, the market is just fractal, isn't it? So of this order flow leg, what do we have? We have got this whole push down here as the extreme, and then we have got after the break here, bullish BOOF. We have got this area here as the slingshot. So this is the reaccumulation. This reaccumulation, and then over here is the accumulation of some sort. Okay, and then we can look to get into some sort of a distro. Okay, so Julie went too far. Right, and then we can look for this distro here. Distro, okay. So same thing. All right, what do we look for? We look for, this is our slingshot. The slingshot, and then this is our extreme, or the this is order flow wise, right? And then you could then look for more confluences. So for example, just do the whole 50 and 80. So we can see the 50% is coming up into the slingshot, and then the 80% into the extreme. Then depending on your risk tolerance, whether you would go ahead and throw some sort of risk into this. Right now, looking at this, of course, we will need to get some sort of accumulation into the slingshot. Yeah. And then you can also go ahead and throw the Fibo and see if you're getting a discount on your buying. So here's where the 50% is, and then here's where the 80% and the 88% is. So which is where like the 80% of that spring is. And those are like the areas that I like to shop around. Someone like this. And then we're looking to make a new order flow high, as well as a new lower time frame high and intraday high. Those will be our target. So coming up to this new high here, that's what we're targeting. Unfortunately, when we're looking at this, price did miss us out here. Okay, so this was a nice Asian liquidity sweep, and then Asian liquidity high sweep as well, and then we've made a BOOF. And then we can see this reaction that we kind of got. So this was New York Open on the 5th. Unfortunately, I was away from keyboard on the 5th. And then this is the kind of reaction that we got from that reaccumulation here. And it just all depends on you. I don't think I would have done something like that. So for example, you could do, wait, let me just reduce all of this. Okay. If you wanted to look at the 50 and the 80%, again, we missed that 50 about less than 3 pips. And I don't know if you did do that, and then this is whereas. Now, again, depending on whether you had spreads incorporated or anything, 3 pips. Wait, what happened? Okay, there you go. Right, depending if you had one sec, I'll bring that back. There you go. Okay, so yeah, depending if you had spread this, you may have got tapped in. And unfortunately, I don't think it gave us that 10-to-1 that we really wanted, because your 10-to-1 would be somewhere here, and then again we missed that. This is last week. I think this week he may have given it. So today, with today's price action, but last week I don't think it did. Yeah, no, it didn't. So yeah, there you go. So this is your 10-to-1. Or was that 11? I'll show 11. Let me bring it down. This is your 10-to-1 there. Yeah, still didn't give us that 10-to-1 there. Even with your, I guess your risk incorporated, it would even be less. Yeah. So, but that was a good trade in a sense of it came into our point of interest. It gave us the reaction that we want to see after reacting in our point of interest. And then how order flow was just could have given you another re-entry. But unfortunately for me, I would have to label this down as a miss trade, and then we'll look at that. So journal. So this was on the 5th, and date close. What then wouldn't really matter. Just put this. I'll just put till the end of the week, which was the 8th, wasn't it? Yeah, 5th to the 8th. And then again, this is USD chef. Okay, so this is slingshot. So this is slingshot, which is going to be 0.25% in total. So half that is going to be 0.12. So limit 0.125. Here order flow, so 0.125 divided by 2. So this one's going to be 0.062. Zero point 0.0625. Right, so 50 minus 499. Okay, so 1 to here. Long entry price would have been, I personally would have gone for this one here, the extreme, which is somewhere here, and that would be way too much. 30 pips compared to 3 pips. So I'm gonna put the 3 pips down. Do that one. Okay, so plus here's your 10 to 1, and then this one. So we will definitely be on break even. Yep, so there's the break. So here will be our first partial. We've just got to reduce risk, break even. Yep. So just put in break even. And then where did we sit at? So the market gave us a 9 to 9.8 from that 50. But I'm just gonna put 9 to 8. $250. $50. Signal would be lower time frame accumulation type 2. Okay, so for me, this definitely is not a type 1. Okay, because we can't see 2 or 3 drives. We can only just see this low, and then BOOF. So anything that's not a type 1, I would just class it as a type 2, and then we were straight into that lower time frame slingshot. The comments here. So New York open reaction of slingshot order flow inside lower time frame slingshot gave us a bullish BOOF session, London crossover, pro trend because we're times 2, and then away from keyboard. No, just simply away from keyboard because I looked at this Friday, whereas this was the 5th, so this was Tuesday. Tuesday, time for setup. So after that break, after this break here, we had to wait for price to come in about 17 days, and then that break there, 17 and 20 hours, eventually about 21 days. 21 days for price to come back into that, and then I'm just gonna put this high here. So this was 3 days. That's my point of interest. Okay, and then once this video is finished, I guess I'll just put that here then. Okay, cool. The position size would be hold up. Where's my Okay, cool. It will be so 26. Okay, cool. So now I can definitely, I mean, this is the only free trades that I've put, but definitely being away from keyboard is so far is obviously just playing out. So I definitely need to pay attention to my London crossovers. Tuesdays as well. All right, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, so this is definitely one that should have paid attention to, because it did give us a nice reaction to it after going to partial. So I guess in terms of like our trade management, let's just finish off with that. So our entries here for me going into it, maybe one more. Yeah. So first things first, I would need is for boom boom here to reduce risk. Okay, so this way I would have gone to reduce risk, but at the same time, maybe the next 15 minutes I would have gone to break even. Normally what I like to look for is reduce risk, come back into it, give me that re-entry opportunity from here, and then to go back up. Then on the next high, I'll go to break even. But obviously this case, we didn't get that. So, and then here, definitely after making this new order flow high, I would have gone to take some partials. Okay, take some partials. In this case, I would be paying my risk. Pay risk. And then that was 31.25 bucks. $31.25. Okay, and then when price, so definitely look to take some, yeah, around this area here after making the next boof. So somewhere here, and then wait for when we go up in there. Now looking at this, so unfortunately we didn't go and break that. If we broke that, then this would have been my slingshot. At the moment, it's just a reaccumulation, and then this is just an accumulation, reaccumulation going into a distro. So I'd have to see if price does come back into there, into this area here. We can definitely see they're on drawdown here, so we can look for an accumulation. If not, then either wait for this to break or this to break, which I don't see why it is, because we tapped into a lower time frame slingshot. But then again, we could come back into the extreme, which for me is all good because I'll be waiting for it. Okay, so this is the end of week. Close to 10-1 missed trades, unfortunately, but definitely teaches us a good lesson in that.